So I'd like to, this is May 21st, 2020. It's the Main Street Advisory Board meeting, and welcome everybody. It's awfully dreary outside, but very good to see your faces. And with that, let's go ahead and see if we can start the meeting out with the Secretary's report and any approval of minutes. I think everyone should have received the minutes.
Yeah, the minutes in the packet are from the April 16th meeting.
Perfect. Do we have a motion for approval of the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to our staff report.
All right. Good morning. I've only had about 3 sips of coffee, so I'm not far ahead of Angela. So just a quick reminder: when Phase 1 opened approximately 2 weeks ago, our retail businesses opened. We worked with them on signage. Each of them had hand sanitation stations at their front door. Most of their staff wore masks and were extremely diligent in trying to follow the safety protocols, which was really good. They've done pretty well on the weekends. Our activity has been slow during the week, from what they kind of reported, but on the weekends, they've done pretty good. As of the governor's press conference last night at 5 o'clock, Phase 2 opens tomorrow, Friday at 5 o'clock. It's slightly modified from what they originally thought. And so they scaled back just a little bit on businesses that can open. So restaurants, salons, barbershops, they can open at 50%. Gyms, bars, any other large venue type spaces, they still remain closed, so they're not able to open. So we've been working with our restaurants, trying to get them ready, I'm sure they're all excited that they'll be able to open starting tomorrow. On the SBA, on our city loan program, we've only awarded 7 applications to date. We did have 2 applications that were approved. One applicant decided they were going to wait and not accept the money to see if they can charter the waters. And we still have another applicant that they are trying to decide if they still want to sign, the documents and so I think they're trying to hang on, but hopefully we'll hear from them soon. This past week, we had 2 of our businesses that accepted a $10,000 loan actually receive other funding and are paying the city back. One has already sent their check in, the other is waiting for the payoff. And so we've had other business activity. We actually had 3 new businesses recently open. One is Magnolia Vine, next to the Lyerly Agency. Beautiful shop. If you haven't been in, you need to check them out. That's Cindy Knowles and Kim Watson. They used to be in partnership with Pucci. It surprised me. So it's a very nice high-end gift shop, interior decor. So really great addition to downtown Belmont. Of course, the other 2 are Jekyll and Hyde and Primal Brewery. So now they're opening up, kind of for takeout only, and so, but we're excited to have them kind of getting back open and look forward to having them in downtown. Madam Chair, I believe that's all I have for my Main Street report. So, are there any questions? Anything I might have overlooked, or any questions about any activity?
Okay. Thanks, Phil. And exciting to hear 3 businesses have opened up. That's great progress. Not many towns can say that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I forgot. I was going to say also that, of course, we do have 3 vacant buildings right in the heart of downtown. 1 or 2 being Jonathan Taylor's. We do have a tenant for the right side, formerly the insurance company. So we do have a tenant ready to come in there. Jonathan was working with someone else on the left side. He was hoping to have 1 tenant take over both buildings, and we were working with a restaurant, and through the COVID-19, they backed out. So I've communicated with Matt and Matt Nada on the old Happy Dog Cafe space, and they've had some interest, and so we'll continue to work on trying to secure a tenant for that location as well.
It's a very prime location. So
Yes, both all 3 spots are very prime.
yeah. So guess we'll be moving on next to our committee reports. Emily? Are you with us, Emily?
She was earlier.
I am here. It trips me up that I have, if even though I'm calling in on my phone, I have to hit unmute on the computer. So, okay, design committee. So starting at the top of the list, the site enhancement grants. Phil let me know last week that there is a new application that's going to be coming in for review. So hopefully in the beginning of our new fiscal year, we will have something to present for approval. So that's exciting. Public art, we did submit last week for a grant, the AARP Community Challenge Grant, and it's for a community art board is what I call it. And what it is, it's a mural. Part of it would be permanent and part of it would be temporary and allow us to interact with the public on the actual mural, maybe post questions or have them draw something, just fun ways to interact our community. And the space we are targeting is the Everyday Market, the old Caravan Coffee. So on the side of their building that faces the railroad track is the old Caravan Coffee painting. And we would be looking to replace that with this new community art board mural. So we won't hear back until August if we were awarded. And so that's fun and exciting. So everyone cross your fingers for us. And Angela, did you have anything to add for that?
I did not, but I'm just so proud of this committee. It's so great. I love that we're applying for grants, and I think there's a lot that's out there, and I think this is wonderful. Thank you for doing all that work.
Thank you for your support.
Emily, can I chime in real quick on that?
Sure.
The committee did communicate with Vince and Brenda. They're excited about the project. Majid, the new tenant who has the Everyday Market, is also extremely excited about the project, and they are committed to help really clean up that side area. I think trim up the tree and maybe do some other little landscaping projects to really enhance that side of the building.
See, that's great. That's exactly what happens when you start to invest. When a group comes in and starts to improve something, then it sort of flourishes. It's fantastic.
All right, thank you. Wayfinding. So I have two updates here regarding the kiosks. One of them is, you may have noticed, we now have a newer screensaver that is shop local, support local. It also now has video capability. So when we first went live, it was just static images rotating like a traditional computer screensaver. But now we have the ability to add video to that too as well. So that's exciting and something we'll be looking to use for sure in the future. And the second update regarding the kiosk, drum roll please. We are finally live with the to-do and see category. That one was a huge challenge. It took a lot from the company that built it to come up with ways to figure out how to do what we asked them to do, and they did. One thing I do ask, there's a lot of functionality here, and since we're still in quarantine and we don't have too many people on our Belmont streets, if you happen to go by one, please touch it, interact with the to-do and see, and give us feedback if anything's funky or missing. There was a lot of hours spent between Angela, Cassidy, Phil, and me putting this together. So if you could help us test it out. There's also a really cool function called This Week, where in the back end it will look at today's date plus 7 days, and you can see right there in front of you things that are happening in our community. Very cool things going on. So I think at one point, Angela, when we were testing it, we all saw that there was a medieval writing class, or I mean, just something crazy that you wouldn't know. And now we have the ability to have those cool things that our community does on our kiosk. So Angela, Phil, I know you've been a part of this. Anything to add?
Yay.
Yeah, no, yeah, thanks to you. The two of you have really kind of taken this bull by the horns. And I will say one thing, and this is Angela kept saying as we were developing this, is, oh my God, I didn't know we had all these really cool things going on right here in downtown or in the surrounding area. So we feel like once things really open back up and the community actually sees the capabilities of this, they're going to realize all these really cool things that they can do that they didn't realize were happening in Belmont.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the kiosk is already getting utilized in important ways. I mean, just like with the Mont Cross is having a virtual bike ride to help raise money because it's in trouble. So, last night we uploaded a graphic to a track loop to sort of notify people of that. And then it's also we added it into the This Week last night. So it's so immediate too. It's really adaptive and very functional. And so if folks are coming out to restaurants tonight, this weekend, they'll be able to know of this virtual bike ride and support the Mont Cross Chamber. And that's sort of come around pretty quickly. So I don't think there's been a lot of advertising for it. So I just think I'm just really excited to see their responses and for everybody to be able to utilize it. So thank you, Emily, for your yeoman's job in all this too.
Yeah, thank you. Now our next challenge is expanding the capabilities of the kiosk and challenging ourselves to think outside of the box, as well as the company that develops the software for us.
I think we're up to
thank you all. Yes, we are. We're known to be creative. Okay, design guidelines. As you all know, we're creating guidelines that if a new owner comes in, they could look to help with their design of whatever they're doing. It wouldn't have any teeth. It's just guidelines. And so just an update, we are currently meeting every 2 weeks now. It used to be monthly, and we are making progress. It is a long process, but we are chipping away at it. And hopefully by the end of this year, if not sooner, way sooner than that, we'll have something to present to you guys for feedback. Belmont Go app. So
Emily?
if you've all seen on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Emily, just on the last topic, we have a new planner on board, Tiffany Farrow, and she has degrees in architecture. And so if you would like her to attend any of your meetings to help with some feedback on them, I'll be happy to connect you to.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I will reach out to you offline. Okay, Belmont Go app. So as some of you have seen probably on social media, the cool 3D videos, I think Belmont Specialty Foods was the first. So you could actually see inside their store and get a cool view. On our last design call, the question was posed, could we somehow incorporate these into our Belmont Go app and help promote our businesses on our app? So we are researching that, and we'll keep you updated on maybe some new functionality coming to the Go app. And that is all I had for design. Angela, Phil, did I miss anything that we need to talk about here today?
No, but you just heard, thank you for that. It just reminded me, I just made myself a note to reach back out to John Cunningham, because we had played some phone tag, but now I need to circle back with him about setting up some more videos.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Emily. Economic Vitality Committee, Mark.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank everybody for what they're doing for the economic vitality of downtown Belmont. I feel like, you know, we're kind of all part of economic vitality nowadays, and you folks are doing a lot of great things. We've done a few things. One of the things we did, we felt like it was important to send out a letter to our General Assembly representatives, our legislators, thanking them for their service, and also, you know, kind of letting them know what we have been doing here in Belmont. And we also wanted to kind of mention, you know, not telling them what to do, but kind of mention that, you know, we hope that and believe that grant assistance is something that is very important, because, you know, loans are good, especially these low interest loans, but when people are so bad off, you know, a grant may sound more appealing. And we're also, so we did that, and also Phil has been sharing information with us, and what we're trying to do is help him look through some of the emails and things that are out there. And I've encouraged members of our committee to, if they see something that really looks good, to you know, emphasize that as well. Then we also decided to send out a letter to our landlords and tenants as well, because, you know, if we want to keep this downtown viable and ready for business, then these folks need to work together. And they, you know, landlords have different challenges than tenants have, but at the same time, you know, if you don't have, if a tenant doesn't have any customers and a landlord doesn't have any tenants, then that's a lose-lose situation. So we're just encouraging them to work together through this letter that we sent out. We also, at our last meeting, reviewed our work plan, because, just to be honest with you, some things have changed, and you know, and it's really changed our work plan. I mean, some of the, for example, some of the Ezra data that we've looked at, you know, and the surveys, things like that, we've kind of put on the back burner. You know, we felt like businesses, with all the problems that they're trying to deal with, all the challenges they're trying to deal with, they're not, big into surveys. And in fact, the lack of response on our surveys pretty well indicated that as well. So we've made some changes there. One of the big things that we're working on right now, Phil sent us some information from the North Carolina Main Street program. They now have a relief section on their work plan, and I guess you've all seen this because it's for each of our committees, and so what we're trying to do is also include that in our work plan, and we're just now started working on that, and so that's something that we're going to continue to work on. And other than that, anyone have any questions?
Mark, I don't have any questions, but I have to commend you because I've been seeing the emails that are going back and forth between your committee. Everybody's attending webinars whenever they see something about any of these small business loans or opportunities that are in webinars or where things are being explained. Their committee, the Economic Vitality Committee, is stepping up, and people are saying, "Oh, I can attend this or I can attend that," and they're sharing information with cooperatively and working with Phil. And I think it's great. You guys have really stepped up to the task, and thank you.
It's a good group of folks.
Yeah, Mark, I too I really appreciate, because we're getting a lot of information about different types of resources, and it was just impossible for me to comb through everything. And so I really appreciate the EV committee for assisting, because y'all have caught some things that I've overlooked, and then we've sent that to some individual businesses for resources, for help. So I really appreciate the help that y'all have really stepped up and are doing.
Glad to do it.
All right. Thank you, Mark. And if no one has questions for Mark, we can move to the Promotions Committee. Sister Nancy.
Good morning, all. We had a really good meeting last week and wanted to give you all an update on the virtual 5K. It raised approximately $4,500. And the question was raised, should we do another one? And also, I think the koozies are coming in this week. So they'll be distributing those as soon as that comes in. Liz did a relief concert. We had a meeting yesterday. Let me pull up those notes. Everything is moving along wonderfully well. There's active committees working in the background to make sure that this happens. Marketing is kind of on hold, and Jim is working on our contracts on that subcommittee, but it's a little early for that group to do anything. MK and Kevin are working with Phil on our entertainment. Jennifer has agreed to be responsible for the volunteers, but here again, until we have more substance on the framework, it's a little hard to know. And we also have not yet set a date for that concert. Anybody have anything, Angela, anything else to add to that?
Just like what I said with Mark, thank you, because I know that committee has like 8 different subcommittees. They're meeting, every 2 weeks we're having the planning meeting, and then in between that, all these subcommittees are meeting. There's just a ton of time being put into this relief concert, but it's going to be so worth it because it's going to be huge. And really exciting. The date is only because we've got some amazing talent that are coming, and we just are waiting to hear what works for everyone for that. But that's not stopping people to think about it and plan, because it's going to be big and it's going to require a lot of planning and a lot of people giving their time. And I'm so excited too that it has this committee has the private businesses and as well as organizations and the city, and it's just a nice combination of an example of how if we all kind of pull together, we rise. So
It's
Awesome.
going to be really exciting, and probably, I know Belmont is on the map, but I think this will really put us on the map, because this is something that no one else is doing, and it's going to be, as Angela said, it's going to be huge.
And I don't want to lose focus on the site that our goal is to raise a significant amount of money, and all proceeds will benefit our businesses to help pay off debt that they incurred during this process. And so I feel like we're going to do some really good things for the city, but more importantly, our downtown businesses.
Exactly the point. Yeah.
Perfect.
I have a question.
Sure.
I know we're on a recorded line, but are you able to share the band yet?
I don't think that has been solidified yet, and so we would not want to do that right at this moment in time.
Right. But
Understood.
I will answer some, though. Kevin is well connected in the music industry, and he has some good friends that are willing to help step up and help out, because they understand it's for a good cause. He also represents some younger up and rising talent that he is working on as well. So it'll be a good variety of music, country, rock, and so it'll be some well-known people that would be a big draw for downtown Belmont.
Any other questions on the concert? Okay. So the summer concerts are pretty much a bust at this point in time. However, we're looking at possibly moving the July 4th concert to be a virtual concert, and try to keep that one. Also, we are still looking at moving forward with the Thursday night pops. And so that will be, that more information will be coming on that. It was suggested that we possibly move the other concerts to evenings in the fall, like a Saturday night concert. And then we're still not able to have large crowds over 10. So until that kind of loosens up, we really won't know what we can do as far as our concerts go for the fall. We also were looking at some different ways to generate revenue in order to replace, not necessarily replace, but to help fund our activities that move forward, because we're very dependent on the summer concerts, primarily the beer sales, for our funds to do other things. So some of the ideas we had were T-shirt sales, an open mic night, a virtual open mic night, a virtual kitchen cooking show. So those were some of the ideas, and we'll just kind of keep looking at those and possibly putting, more, getting more information for them. We're still looking at Welcome Back Students. The tentative date was set out for the National Night Out, which is in August. Here again, that will depend on where we are with COVID-19, and also where the college is as far as bringing students back on campus. So I will be calling them to check on what's going on later on. And we too are looking at looking at our work plan in order to adjust it, and so that we're more in line with what's actually happening versus what we wanted to happen. And so that is all I have. Any questions? Thank you very much.
I do want to chime in. I really appreciate the point, Sister Nancy, that you pointed out about our budget and the need for somehow trying to come up with additional revenue to replace what we're missing on Friday Night Live. I think that'll be very evident in Mark's financial report.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Nancy. Thank you for that ominous note there, Phil. And we can move on to the organization committee. Seth?
Yeah. So as many of you know, with the monies that were raised with just everything for the relief fund, we purchased PPE equipment for our downtown businesses, our Main Street businesses. And Monday we had like a packing party, and yesterday we distributed those throughout to our Main Street businesses, the ones that were open during lunch. So we got some great response, kind of telling the story to our business owners of how we're helping support them in this time, so they can be open to be ready to open and safely tomorrow, as the governor, as those regulations are laid out for them. And so we had some great pictures that were taken, again, to kind of tell the public that story of what those funds have been used for, and what and how we are using those monies and those funds to support our businesses, and what we do as an organization, and how we support our businesses. So that was awesome. Phil got those pictures, and I think you, Angela, he sent those to you last night as well. So we can publicize that. There was a lot of businesses that were really grateful, and some were happily surprised to see that. So it was really great. The next thing is kind of looking forward on how we're going to approach. Typically we approach certain businesses for sponsorships and things like that for our events. And just amidst this crisis and the financial burden that a lot of our businesses are facing right now, we're going to have to kind of maybe modify how that approach and what that'll look like. So our committee is coming up, and here in the future we'll be coming up with some creative ideas and ways to go about that, and what that's going to look like. So yeah, and we're also in the process of Angela and I are in the process of looking at creating a subcommittee for grants, just for grants, to accumulate that, to be able to send that information out to our businesses, on top of the other resources that we're giving them, so we can give them some more of those resources. Does anybody else have anything else to add?
And Seth, I would say that the grants are also, like, our search of grants can also be grants for our own organization, because I think it takes about, the statistics I think say it takes about 5 to 6 grant applications for you to actually get one awarded. So what I would love for this group to do, especially since our usual funding resources are a little different now, is maybe take some focus on what we can do, and that is certainly one thing we can do. There are grants out there for all different kinds of purposes, and I appreciate your committee looking at being responsible for being the search for that, because that's sometimes they're out there, but sometimes it just takes a little effort to find them. So
yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Seth? All right. Thanks, Seth.
Yeah.
We will, from my chair report, I'm just going to save my comments for the DBDA section of the meeting. And is there any other questions or new business? Okay. In that case, do we have a motion to adjourn the Main Street Advisory Board meeting?
I motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you all. So, Cassidy, do we still wait for recordings to be switched?
Yes, if you'll give me just about 60 seconds, please.
Okay.
All right, during this 60 seconds, I would like to point out I saw some happy little chair dancing there from Shelley when something was mentioned about some online cooking class or something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But of course,
Okay.
Angela, I hope you didn't break a hip or a leg or neck when I saw you dancing around when Emily mentioned the something about the To Do and See going live.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, big relief, huh?
Yeah, just, I mean, you guys, it's been, that section has been like on the verge of being ready to be pushed out 3 different times. And because the event information, which you'll see when you go, how much information is in there, it's ridiculous. And when you see that, you understand that we have inputted current information of that amount 3 different times. So it's like great that it's actually, we've done it and then it's actually there. So now we'll just need to get the businesses on board to keep that information flowing. And I think once they see it, they'll definitely want to be on board.
Okay, well, I'm ready if you guys are.
All right. Okay, so we will call to order the Downtown Belmont Development Association meeting this May 21st, 2020. And we'll start the meeting out with approval of minutes. We have a motion to approve. Anybody?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Okay, Sister Nancy, thank you for that motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. All in favor? I saw many hands raised.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
All right, so if we can move on to our staff report.
Report. We worked with a distributor that the city has worked with, and over the last 2 weeks, and she really beat down the bushes to gather masks and gloves and hand sanitizer for us. And I'd like to give you some numbers. So yesterday, as Seth said, Monday we started organizing. Yesterday, we started distributing the supplies to our businesses. We distributed or are distributing 2,000 surgical disposable masks, 193 boxes of gloves. We've distributed about 75 half-gallon bottles of hand sanitizer. But we still have about 25 bottles remaining for later use. And so we've also ordered 1,000 cloth masks from Del Mill. I will be picking those up today because some of our restaurants were looking for cloth masks. So that increases our mask total to 3,000. So the DBDA executive board approved using the $10,000 of the donated money to purchase PPEs. So of that $10,000, all of everything that we've gotten and purchased so far, we still have a little money left. I think Mark will cover that in his financial report. But we've gotten some good deals in buying bulk. And we'll continue to buy more supplies for our businesses. And they were very, very gracious for receiving those supplies. So I know many of you have made donations, and so thank you for that. It's really it's making a difference in downtown. You remember that we was working with the city on the trains on Main. DBDA was a big funder for that. The trains are ready. Jamie Campbell and I finally were able to get together and finalize some of the other locations where the trains would be installed. We've started communicating with some of the property owners to get approval. And so hopefully, in the when it stops raining, we will get those little trains installed. And then I know that the part of the Go App Design Committee subcommittee has been working on the history and for the trains on Main. So we're getting very, very, very close on releasing that. So that'll be very exciting. As Sister Nancy mentioned in her promotions, we've pretty much postponed our Friday Night Live concert series. I'm in communication with those bands. We've got availability dates in October so that we could hopefully reschedule them to play during our relief concert. Not all of those dates are available for some of our bands. And so at some point, the DBDA will need to give me some direction on if those bands cannot be rescheduled for the relief concert. We've already paid deposits. Do we want to then just reschedule those bands for the 2021 Friday Night Live concert series instead of trying to ask for a refund, a deposit refund? And that's something that we can maybe, Sister Nancy, we'll put that in our promotions committee report to try to, and then you can bring that to the board at our next meeting. The one outstanding sponsorship application that we had in with Caramont Health, I have communicated with our contact there. We had a really good conversation. And so part of our Caramont sponsorship, we had asked for $15,000. 5 of that was for Friday Night Live sponsorship. 10,000 was for our Christmas Village. So we're going to, they're going to allow us to amend after meeting with them, having a conversation, that we're going to amend our sponsorship application to include just Christmas Village. But then they're extremely interested, and then they want us to submit another application because they want to be a big sponsor for our relief concert, which was very exciting. They ensured me, they actually thanked us for all of the work that we are doing, that they enjoyed being our sponsor last year. They got a lot of publicity out of our events, and they love having their logo on the kiosk for that visibility. So they said that they really, if any sponsorship was going to be awarded, it would be us. So they're very thankful for the work that we're doing. So thank you. And
Awesome.
Madam Chair, I think that's all I have, unless there are any questions of me.
Any questions for Phil? Okay, thank you, Phil. That's great that you've touched base with them, and that's good to hear that that they're happy with what we've been giving them for their sponsorship. Excellent. And next up will be our treasurer's report. Mark?
Okay, hopefully you got your copy of this and maybe even have it right there in front of you. Phil updated our DBDA budget in Microsoft Excel, and so that's really nice because he can go in there and automatically populate anything related to the financial report, and it's a better way of tracking funding. Phil, I didn't realize you were such an organized guy, but that's a great tool to have, I'm sure.
You may not think that if you see my desk, but so I'm not always organized. But when it comes to money, yeah, I'm going to be organized.
Yeah, that's a good rule. So anyway, even though, as you can see, the DBDA budget has been pretty good position with $23,639.46. The majority of that funding is allocated to specific projects. And, as we've talked about earlier, not having revenue from Friday Night Live is evident in our available revenue. The really the only budget activity has been income from the virtual 5K and the relief fund donations. The city is going to cut a check to the DBDA for that $10,000 donation that we've talked about for the relief fund. And we've spent approximately $6,500 on those PPE items that Phil just talked about for our downtown businesses. And these transactions will show up in our next month's financial report. And included in this report that you got, there are different charts that you can see where everything is laid out in our project funding, like the box wrap, the dog park, things like that. So that's a nice little thing to have on hand. Anybody have any questions for me or Phil?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. That's great to see it laid out like that. I like the additions that you and Phil have broken out with the different Friday Night Lives and the merchandising and everything. In addition to the summary, it's really helpful. Thank you.
And I will say that is now that is an Excel spreadsheet that is built into the budget. So whenever we make deposits or write checks, it's all formula driven. So it'll populate the financial report. So at any time, if there's any questions, it's right there at our fingertips as far as where our finances are, and where, it'll be easier to track the allocated funding for the projects.
Great. Yeah, that'll be really helpful. So moving on to our committee reports. I'm not certain if any of the committees had more to say under the DBDA section. If so, just speak up now. Yeah, I think everything was probably covered in our Main Street meeting. So now, next up, I guess, would be my report, the chair report, and to talk a little bit about the DBDA website. We've revamped that a little bit to include 3 different options of giving when you go to the main page. So now you can give monthly, set up for monthly donation if you're so inclined. You can do a one-time donation, and then there's also a section that's called Raise Awareness. And what this is, that takes you to a new page that was created that functions more or less like a store, but that will be a place where we can put our merchandising to induce incentives for people to donate. So it'll be more like a gift with donation page. And we can basically as we create more things to encourage donations, we can place them there, and it's a good setup and system to people can give their donation, pay, and choose their sizes and all that kind of stuff, and their shipping information or delivery information. So it's really, I think, going to be really functional. I've already done mine, so I've got my Belmont Strong t-shirt on the way, and those t-shirts, I think most people had seen the initial design that had been approved. We ended up ordering a gray with both a gray and a red. So we ordered both colors, and the emblem is on the back with the smaller hashtag on the front for Belmont Strong. And we have some plans to start promoting that. So I do encourage you all to go to that website, take a look at it, share it with your friends. It would be a fun way. We're basically saying with $25 donation, you get this a Belmont Strong t-shirt as a thank you. And that thank you, if you wear it, helps to raise awareness for our cause. So 2 different ways for people to give that small donation and continue to support us by wearing the product. So that's exciting. And the other thing that I wanted to quickly talk about, well, maybe not so quickly, I'll try to be quick, is wanted to do a quick Keep the Lights On campaign activity timeline. So this, in the design committee, Emily asked me to just take a moment to kind of update her committee on the things that we had done since they had last met. And I started thinking about it and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm forgetting this, I'm forgetting that. I need to like start writing down dates and make sure I'm not covering something that people already, that we've already covered. What have we done since we've met? So in doing this, I was amazed at all the different things that this organization, that along with, in partnership with the city, in partnership with private business, in partnership with other organizations, has actually what we've achieved in such a short amount of time. So I wanted to quickly run through some of this because I'm frankly in awe of the commitment and the speed with which everyone has jumped on, jumped on this cause and trying to help our community in this time of crisis. So I think this timeline illustrates this. So on March 12th, Gaston County declared a state of emergency due to COVID-19. And the city, along with DBDA leadership, decided to create a Keep the Lights On initiative. And that was we needed to bring community awareness to the problem. We needed to unify the community to see our businesses as their friends and neighbors and understand, get connected to needing to help them. We wanted to make it easier for the people who are customers of our downtown business to still frequent those businesses in the ways that they now could and help customers understand that. We needed to raise money because we knew our businesses were going to need that and give them relief money in short term as well. So with that in mind, that was March 12th. With that in mind, on March 19th, we created our first Keep the Lights On in Belmont video, and that brought stark awareness to the effects of COVID-19 on our downtown businesses. And it pushed people to a new webpage that had been created on the city website, updating people. This video had 31,588 hits on Facebook, and it had 197 engagements. So we got people's attention. Then by March 20th, the next day, the city had designated and distributed 10-minute curbside pickup cones and signs to make it easier for customers and businesses to function in this new environment. By March 30th, City Council had created a small business emergency loan program in Belmont with a fund of $400,000, offering loans of $10,000 each. By April 2nd, the DBDA and city cooperated further for a community connection with the signs video, showing retail and restaurant owners with hashtag signs, encouraging support of downtown businesses and pushing folks to the city webpage for the Keep the Lights On. And that webpage by this point also had the addition of a donation button, which linked out to another new webpage that had been created to make it easy for people to donate and offering giving opportunities. This video was viewed 12,876 times on Facebook, had 455 engagements, and had 7,300 through plays. As of March 6th, $1,621.74 had been raised on the Keep the Lights On donation page. Then, to bolster spirits and a sense of community, the hashtag signs were then placed in front of all the businesses. So it was very visible, people could see it. On April 9th, City Council handed their first checks out to small businesses who had applied for their loans. On April 17th, Nellie's, the City of Belmont, Creative Solutions, Elevation Church, and Convoy of Hope held a distribution event for those in need of food, cleaning, and hygiene supplies. 30,000 pounds of food was distributed in 1.5 hours. And then the hashtag Belmont Strong began with the Carolina Drawn Works video of the event, That video reached 8,269 people, had 1,434 engagements. And then members of our board and our committee also contributed to this event by volunteering their services. On April 20th, the EV committee drafted and Phil sent out the FDIC assistance memo, notifying property owners that they could get assistance from mortgages, which would allow them in turn to provide the same kind of relief to their tenants. On April 21st, the EV committee also sent out a letter to state representatives suggesting they consider legislation to give grants to businesses and suggested maybe using programs like the Main Street program to administer those funds, assuring that small businesses that need it actually get the funds. On April 24th, a cross-functional committee was formed of the DBDA and local business leaders for a relief concert to benefit downtown businesses. Since this is going to be a larger concert than anything Belmont has ever seen, this committee, as I'd said before, is working every 2 weeks, having meetings, 8 different subcommittee meetings. They're on it. April 26th, Adrian informed Phil that an anonymous donor wished to give $10,000 for support of downtown businesses. And Adrian suggested the DBDA Relief Fund was the best place for that donation. The Main Street and DBDA Executive Board and Phil held meetings to discuss the best distribution of the methods. April 29th, the city and DBDA leadership held a virtual meeting with Carolina Drone Works regarding some new technology they had acquired to evaluate potential uses and benefits. May 1st through 3rd, the promotions committee held a virtual 5K run walk where a Keep the Lights on koozie was produced, a 5K webpage was created, multiple social media posts and a video were created, blog was created, as well as a press release written, and a preview article in Gaston Gazette was published. It had 151 registrants. $300 was donated for the grand prize. 3 winners were announced during a Facebook Live event on May 4th, and that reached 1,152 people and had 377 engagements. $4,120.79 was raised. On May 5th, Belmont Strong t-shirts were produced as a donation enhancer and to continue community unity and encourage local support awareness. On May 6th, the Main Street DBDA Executive Board decided to utilize $15,000 of the relief funds to immediately start assisting the downtown businesses by purchasing PPEs and purchasing gift cards to use as matching promotions. On May 8th, the City and Montcross Area Chamber of Commerce held a virtual ribbon cutting to celebrate the reopening of downtown Belmont through the city's Facebook page. That reached 5,450 people and had 1,236 engagements, as well as the Chamber's live global cam. On May 13th, the city posted a 3D video of Belmont's specialties foods from Carolina Drone Works to test the helpfulness of this kind of technology to customers. On May 14th, DBDA website now has a new merchandise page, which supporters can receive a Belmont Strong t-shirt for a $25 donation online. In May 19th, the DBDA board members and committee volunteers met in council chambers to package PPE relief funds for downtown businesses. On May 20th, they distributed those PPE relief products to the businesses in the first wave of downtown Belmont Relief Fund distributions. And that's where we are today. We'll see about tomorrow. So thank you, everyone. Just simply amazing, simply amazing. So with all of that in your head,
You don't know how much you've done until you list it out like that and you think, wow, how did we do that in this short amount of time?
Exactly. That was May 12th when this started. Think about it. That was May 12th. And if you look at the timeline, there's notes. There's one period of time in the beginning where I think there was a week. And from that period of time, it was like every 2 or 3 days, not only were things were not just being met and worked on, they were actually being accomplished in every 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's simply amazing, and it just deserves being said out loud. So thank you for the time.
I know how it was accomplished because you are all amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Angela, this is Adrian. If you have that typed out, do you mind sending that to me so I can share it with the city council? Because that really is, looking back at it, it's kind of overwhelming how much you'll accomplish in the last 2 months.
I
think they need to know.
Yes, thank you. I will be happy to. And yes, I had to type it out. It's too much to keep in your head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody.
Yes. Good job, everybody. Excellent. So that being said, anything new we want to add to the mix? Any new or old business to discuss here?
Angela, are you going to talk about potentially t-shirt stations on Friday and Saturday night?
Ooh, I'm sorry. I should have. Yeah, I got overwhelmed.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. We still got more work to do, girl. Come on.
That's right. That's right. We've got to add, tomorrow is going to be Friday. So yeah, there will be something else we can do tomorrow to add to this list. So since our funding, as we have seen, is in need of some push and some help, and the t-shirt sales is something we can do right now to do that. We have plenty of t-shirts. If there is someone who would be interested and able to man a table tomorrow evening, I guess if the weather permits, out on Main Street, just to sort of capture people, to let them know they can make a $25 donation and receive a t-shirt, a Belmont Strong t-shirt. That would be great. And if anybody wants to, you can either speak up now or you can text or email me later. But
yeah, and what we were thinking is basically we could set up one of our tents, and it would be just like a t-shirt sale on Friday Night Live. We would set up a tent, have table with t-shirts. We could have our credit card, swipe machine, and a little, money box, just like we do, you receive donations, and to start getting our Belmont Strong t-shirts out on Friday and Saturday night. So the time frame would be 5 until 10. Cassidy and I will be there Friday and Saturday night, so we can help. But we would also might need to take care of some logistics, throughout, the night. So if it would be nice to have a few people. So to help, what we could do is create a little sign up spreadsheet and email that out, and allow someone to sign up for an hour or two if they would so like.
okay, and this is this tomorrow? This is tomorrow night and Saturday night is what you're thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like tomorrow is, I think the rain is supposed to pass, early afternoon. Streets will start being blocked off at 3, set up outside, dinner from 5 to 10, and then breakdown is from 10 to 12. And so we feel like we could probably, get some, some good donations both nights, particularly Saturday night, rather. Sorry.
Okay, great. Well, and I really encourage it again, if this is about our only way to make money at this point today. So if anyone is able and feels comfortable with that, we would really appreciate your help.
Yeah, and if you don't have a mask, we do have some extra masks. We would encourage people to wear masks and be safe.
Yes. All right. Okay, well, thank you all. And if there's no new or old business beyond that, then is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Shelley. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sister Nancy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Aye.
Bye. Thank you.